All right, it is time for the winter outlook. I'm Chief Meteorologist Adam Clark.
And I'm meteorologist Vaughn Gasket.
And we're going to break down just kind of what we've seen in the past and what we're expecting for this season. And Vaughn, do you like snow?
I love it. Yeah, love snow, love to see it. I wanted to come on the weekend and be out of here just in time for the work week to get started. But of course, whenever you start talking about winter and the winter outlook, it's always top of mind for folks around here. So let's kind of jump right into the forecast. First, we'll break it down. So meteorological winter gets started December 1st. It goes from December 1st to the end of February. But then, of course, astronomical winter, the winter that everyone kind of knows generally, and it's actually when the calendar turns into winter, the winter solstice, is going to be on December 21st.
Yep, that's when the sun's direct rays are right at the Tropic of Cancer.
Right.
So they're all the way down, and our sun angle is really low. And I myself, I love snow. I got into weather because of snow. I was always trying to forecast to see if we would get out of school. And like we have had snow in Columbia. We've had about 2 inches.
Absolutely.
Here.
The last time we had a solid 2 inches at CAE, which is our official recording location, Columbia Metropolitan Airport, was January 21st of 2022. So the first measurable snowfall that we had since 2017 came in 2022. And so that was that 2 inches. And that's usually the amount of snow that you can see, that you can feel.
It covers the grass.
Right.
Just
more,
enough.
Yeah, more than a dusting, if you will.
Exactly. You can make a snowball out of it. Usually our snows, you know, you can make a nice snowball because they're usually the wet variety.
Right.
And as far as that totals during that storm in January 21st of 2022, we saw a good bit, like about 2 to 3 inches.
And then that 3-inch mark was up near Lugoff, so they actually got most of it. They felt like they were goody two-shoes then. Lugoff got the most of that snow. Everybody else just maybe like a little dusting everywhere else around the Midlands. And then, of course, what happened exactly 3 years later, because, you know, we want snow every year.
We want it every year. It doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen. It took 3 years after that before we had our next significant snow, and that was January 21st of 2025. And so that was at the top of this year. Now, as we head into next year, of course, fingers are crossed that we can get another round of this. But when we had that snow, 2025, remember, Charleston got more than we got.
Yeah, they did.
Folks
we only
didn't
had
like
an
that.
inch. Oh, I didn't like
People
it.
didn't
But
like that.
you down in Orangeburg, you were sitting pretty with 4 inches, 4.2 in the southern sections of the county there, 3.4 in Clarendon County. But yeah, Charleston got a good bit during this system, and we're hoping for a system to hit the Midlands this year as well.
So what are the chances of that happening?
Well, they're not great. So this is just climatologically speaking. We're looking at around 30 to 40% chance of it developing over our area during a season.
Yeah, and that's generally where we fall every year. You know, it's not like 1 year it goes all the way up to a 60 or 70%. It's just the way we are climatologically, where we are in the atmosphere. Kind of, we just don't get it that often.
The latitude, the terrain, it all plays factors. The ocean plays a factor.
It all plays a factor. Now, if you were up in Greenville.
Yeah, that's where I'm from.
Yeah, they have that 80 to 90% chance.
They usually always get something, and see, that's what would get me out of school whenever I was in school at Greenville County. So the mountains would get some snow. I would try to forecast that snow as a third grader.
Well, look, and at least once every 3 years or so, you get it right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So generally they see it up there in the higher elevations, and even with the system coming from the north and west, they'll see a little something. But generally speaking, we have to get our moisture over top some very cold air, and that's harder to do.
Those patterns are always something you have to keep an eye on, right?
Exactly. And these patterns that we watch are El Nino and La Nina. And this year, we're looking at a La Nina pattern. It looks like the ocean waters are going to be a little cooler than average. So when that happens, this throws off the jet stream. Now, the jet stream is what?
It is that fast-moving column of air way up in the atmosphere, and it's responsible for carrying in those systems. So if the systems don't get here, they can't do anything for us, whether it's good or bad.
Yep.
The system's got to get here to make anything happen.
That's right. And according to the Climate Prediction Center, it's just looking like our area is going to be on the drier side because of La Nina. So the jet stream stays up to the north. And then as far as if temperature goes, it looks warmer than average. Now this is from the Climate Prediction Center, so you can see the entire southeast looks drier and also warmer than average. And it's because of that pattern of the jet stream staying up to the north. So if it was dipping down to the south, it provides us with that really cold air. You can kind of think of the jet stream as the boundary between the cold air and the warm air. So the cold air is up here, the warm air is down to the south, and if we don't get a giant trough down in the southeastern states, we can't get the cold air in place. And troughs also provide uplift in the atmosphere, and that's what gives us the chance of precipitation. So when it stays to the north, it just leaves us alone and we're left out.
Right.
Womp womp.
Yeah, I know. And we have to go through another pattern where we don't get the opportunity to enjoy the snow as much as we want. And we know that's really the bottom line.
Exactly.
Will we get
want
the snow or not?
And notice for this next graphic here, I chose ice because, you know, that's generally what we get. We get ice more than snow. So that's our winter outlook. It just looks drier and it looks a little bit warmer as well.
Absolutely. So I hope this helped. I know everyone is just kind of waiting on pins and needles for our next snow opportunity. So I hope this helps you just a little bit.
And have a great winter season. Thanks for watching WIS First Alert Weather.